Well, it was Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast and the Wrestling Observer, a contributor over there, that had broken the news last week that AEW was close to signing a new deal, or has already signed a new deal, for another 2-hour TV show to take place on Saturday nights by the name of Collision. This based on a trademark that was filed by AEW, so AEW Collision. Sounds like fits right in with Dynamite and Rampage. Sounds about right. That this will be a new show, a 2-hour primetime show, Saturday nights on 8 to 10. Was supposed to be on TBS, but now rumored possibly on TNT. And it was also Andrew Zarian who further clarified that this was possibly a soft brand split. Soft as in we're not having a fucking draft, and it isn't, you have to stay on this roster, you have to stay on this one, you wear gold t-shirts, you wear black t-shirts, or gold and silver, or whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't know, pink and purple. Don't care. That it's not going to quite be like that, but that there is definitely going to be some talent that only works Saturdays and some talent that only work Wednesdays. And this is mostly due to the fact that people don't want to work with CM Punk, but CM Punk's coming back. This has also been confirmed by Andrew Zarian, who confirmed that CM Punk, that the network, that Warner Discovery, was told that CM Punk is on his way back. So, with all of that said, let's go ahead and check out this clip from Andrew Zarian talking about the latest on this topic, and then we'll follow up on the back end with some more thoughts.
CM Punk is essentially happening. I know for a fact that Warner has been told that he's coming back. So he's in the, they are very much aware of the situation. He had recently said he was willing to return to AEW, and he wants to make it work. So the issue here is that he's willing to work with the elite members. I know that as of the time I was told, and as of early this week, there was no intention on the other side. Maybe Kenny a little bit more than the Bucks, but I know, they do not want to work with him. There's been no dialogue between the two sides either regarding, sitting down and making this work. So the plans have been put in place to possibly have a tentative Saturday show to be the soft brand split. When I used that term yesterday on Mat Men, I was told that it's less soft than I'm putting out there. So I guess there will be people that are predominantly on the other show, on the Saturday show. Also, Dave reported that there was a meeting scheduled between CM Punk, Tony Khan, Chris Jericho, FTR, and and other people. I've heard this from multiple people, and the way it was alluded to me is that the program will probably be Punk and Jericho in some capacity. I don't know if FTR is involved or Jericho Society is involved, but that seems to be, and you know what? That's a very smart way to do this. Jericho has presented himself as a locker room leader. Jericho came out and said he's toxic or whatever he said, and he's willing to make this work because he realizes that there's money in this. At the end of the day, it's for the greater good of the company to put your personal feeling aside with this guy. If he's willing to make it work with you, you know what? You can make it work with him too. So maybe this is a just to get the ball rolling type thing, especially with Kenny and the Bucks, because that big money match, the big money match, is a trios match between CM Punk and FTR and the Elite, and that singles match between Kenny and CM Punk.
But I will say, as far as the brand split goes, I have heard about the potential of the Saturday show being the show where Punk and the people that are willing to work with Punk are going to be working. I never heard the term soft brand split. That was something that came later. Now, I'm not saying that no one told Andrew or anybody else about a soft brand, because I believe other people have used that term. Like, it's going to be a soft brand split or whatever. What I heard from the beginning, anytime this was brought up, was there are people that don't want to work with CM Punk. They don't want to be in the building with him. And so there's going to be a place where he can work and do his thing, and there's going to be a place where the other people can work and do their thing. Now, if you're a neutral party, then conceivably you could work both shows and everything like that. But there are going to be certain people that are on one show, and there are going to be certain people that are on the other show because they don't want to be anywhere near each other. Or maybe they can't even legally be near each other. There's also that to consider. I don't know the legalities of any of this because nobody can talk about anything that legally they're not allowed to talk about, which is why we've had an issue with, why doesn't Tony tell us what? Well, he can't. It's a legal issue, okay? There may be a legal issue here where certain people cannot be in the same place or whatever, which does bring up the question, well, what happens when you've got a pay-per-view? How are we going to do this pay-per-view? Are certain people going to work every other pay-per-view and the other people won't work on that pay-per-view? I don't know, dude. I can't answer these questions. But what I can tell you is this is not stuff that's being made up. How it's going to fall out, I don't know. Because I don't even think this TV deal is like official. But these are the things that are being discussed about how can we make all of this work. Because right now, it is not all handled.
Okay, ready for my hot take? This is a stupid fucking idea. That's my hot take. It's a stupid idea to create a whole separate show for CM Punk. It's not going to work. You guys either get along or you don't get along. Maybe somebody needs to leave the company. I had said before that if there's a Jon Moxley, a Chris Jericho, a Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, all 5 of them, think what you want about all of them, especially you Cornette fans out there. I'm sure you would trade all 5 for one CM Punk. I get it. But I wouldn't, and that wouldn't be a smart business move. That's 5 top household name stars, whether you like them or not, for one top household name stars, a fairly broken, old one. And somebody had made the comment on a previous video that I sound jaded when I talk about CM Punk. I am. I was the biggest CM Punk fan. The markiest of the CM Punk marks. And I still do support him. I'm still excited to see him coming back. I would still pay good money to see him. I do love CM Punk. I do. But I was incredibly frustrated because I also loved AEW. And I thought they were a great fit. And Punk marrying AEW really sucked. Showed a really gross, ugly side of him. I don't give a fuck about him getting in a fight backstage or beating up the Young Bucks or any of that. I don't care about any of that. But the way he sat so smugly with his fucking muffin next to the boss of his company, burying the company, burying everybody in the company, burying Tony Khan sitting right next to him. It was gross. It was a gross, ugly look for him. But look, I'm ready to move on from it. I am open to Punk coming back as long as it's not going to drive away half of your locker room. That's my sticking point. If the locker room refuses to have him there and they're going to leave or they're going to be pissy or they're going to look for their next opportunity to go to WWE simply because they don't want to be in the AEW locker room anymore, that's a problem. I'd rather keep 5 stars that Jim Cornette fans don't like than lose 1 star that Jim Cornette fans do like. And look, I'll put CM Punk over the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and Jon Moxley myself. But not all 5 of them at the same time. So maybe the happy medium is doing this second show where CM Punk and friends can be on one show and the Young Bucks and friends can be on another show. All friends wrestling on one and all professional wrestling on the other. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to work. They're going to mix in pay-per-views. Punk's still going to be on a microphone at some point, and he's always outspoken. He's always got something to say. You don't think he's going to take little shots or fucking bury the company again? Even after he said he wanted to come back and he was willing to work with everybody and stuff, he still did an Instagram post where he buried Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, and he just kept going. He's not afraid to speak his mind. Though I do think it's smart to bring him back. There's money. There's more juice to squeeze out of that. A lot of that is with the Elite. And if the Elite doesn't want to work with him, then that's all a bust. And if the Elite's going to leave AEW because of Punk, that's going to be a problem too. I don't know that tucking Punk away on his own show on Saturday nights is really going to be the way to work at. And secondly, it's a bad idea because AEW doesn't need more TV time. Nobody watches Rampage. And I don't trust that Tony Khan can do a good job with it. He's overbooked already. He's way too busy as it is. His hands are full. He's got too much on his plate. The product suffers for it at times, and at other times there's great stuff on AEW. That's debatable for a lot of you. I get that. That's fine. That's my opinion. But a lot of it's great, and a lot of it's, oof, that was rough, you know? Or what happened to that guy? I don't know. Tony had fucking ADD and forgot about him. Remember the storyline from 4 weeks ago? Yeah, me either, but here it is. No video package to remind you. We're just going to pick up where we left off and assume that you remember. He needs somebody to step in and help out. I don't remember who said it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but somebody somewhere along the way brought up the idea of maybe having Jeff Jarrett run Ring of Honor. Or at least booked like the Darks, possibly. I don't hate that idea. Those longtime listeners here know that I'm not a Jeff Jarrett fan at all. I have a no Jeff Jarrett policy. But the guy has experience, and if Tony oversees him and can overrule him on things, it wouldn't hurt to start delegating to some people. And I would say give your entire Ring of Honor roster to Jeff Jarrett. Look, this dude ran TNA during a pretty decent run for TNA. There was some cool shit in TNA. A lot of people forget that. TNA has a stink to it, a stigma that it still carries around to this day, even with the brand change, even though by all accounts they've been doing some great work. They're TNA and they'll never escape that stink. But they had a lot of great shit, and Jeff Jarrett was responsible for that. He is not all bad at all. In fact, I would say he's a fairly serviceable booker. And he came from a booking family. He knows what the fuck he's doing. And if Tony wants to at least oversee, like just have Jeff submit to him his booking sheet or whatever, and Tony can just say, yep, that looks fine. Try not to micromanage it too much and be like, well, I would do this and this and this and this. Just let that shit slide and just make sure that there's nothing egregious going on or anything that you fundamentally disagree with. And go for it. Let the man run the shit. Let him run the developmental, or let somebody, let your Christopher Daniels or the Young Bucks even, or somebody like that run your dark and your dark elevations. Let Colt Cabana run it. Delegate to some of these people. I don't know why I said Colt Cabana. I have zero idea if he has booking capabilities. Just let anybody run it. Let the Blade run it. The Blade's got experience. I just think it's too much for Tony Khan. It's too much for him to handle. So he's gonna need to delegate. He came out and, Rampage was dying in the ratings and it was a shit show, like WWE's main event. And he took criticism for it, and he came out in a press conference and said, I hear your criticism. I'm going to start putting, it was mostly because people were injured a lot. And this was last summer, by the way, when Punk was out and Danielson was out and Cole was out and all that shit. We got a lot of guys out and injured, and I need all my star power on Dynamite and excuse and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to start focusing more on Rampage. And then he just doesn't. Rampage still sucks. So nobody watches that. Are they going to watch Collision? Perhaps. I'll watch it if it's equivalent to Dynamite. But I also don't have, my time is limited. You know what I mean? To squeeze an extra 2 hours of wrestling in. I miss a lot of Raw and SmackDown, to be honest with you. I don't even catch Dynamite all the time. I got my own shit. I'm writing a book. I'm doing this fucking show. Got a life. You know what I mean? Work, kids, girlfriend. You can't do it all. Sure, add another 2 hours of fucking wrestling. And even, if there are different stars on it, that will help. And it might, but I do think it'll tear the audience, because now you're going to People watch Dynamite because fucking Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks are on it. Well, now Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks are on Saturday. Maybe those people don't watch Dynamite anymore. Maybe they only watch Saturday. Maybe that's going to take viewer. Now your Dynamite rating is going to drop to like 700,000. And your Saturday night shows are going to do like 600,000, 700,000. The both of them. And Rampage will just rot. One of these shows should be converted to a Ring of Honor show. That's what needs to happen. Or you take Dark and Dark Elevation and you make that Rampage. And then you do Ring of Honor on YouTube. Or you make Rampage, Ring of Honor Rampage. I don't know. It's too much TV, man. It's too much TV, and I don't think splitting the roster works. So all around, this is a bad idea. And I think it's heading for a bust. This is going to come to a head. I think, the Young Bucks and Kenny might just end up leaving AEW. Perhaps. I don't know. They want to go work for Vince McMahon and Endeavor. That's a little iffy right now. We shall see. Time will tell. I'm curious your thoughts on this, though. Are you excited for another 2 hours of AEW TV? Would you watch Collision? Do you have faith that Collision could be an entertaining show? On par with Dynamite at the very least. Will it split stars? Will it just keep, a couple of the top stars on one or the other? Will it be a hard brand split? That's another thing. Andrew Zarian said, when he came out and reported it as a soft brand split, he was told by people in AEW, or at least somebody in the know in AEW, that he was underselling the brand split a little bit even. That it might not even be as soft as he's saying it will be. So there might be a harder divide. A very specific, you're over here and you're over here. But then what do you do with Wembley? What do you do with All In? You got to have everybody all hands on deck with that. You're going to have separate fucking locker rooms. This is the Collision locker room. And this is the Dynamite locker room. And you put them on other sides of the building. The whole fucking thing is stupid and it's not going to work. Everybody just needs to get in a room, work out their shit, and get along and quit being a bunch of crybabies. And I'm looking at you, Young Bucks, because CM Punk's already reportedly said, I'll work with all of them. And he's agreed to a meeting with Chris Jericho to squash their beef, or at least see if they can work together. Sounds like Punk is willing and able to meet with or work with or talk it out with anybody he needs to get back to work, to wrestle and do some business and move on with everybody's lives. It's the Young Bucks holding it up and Kenny Omega. And they're entitled, absolutely, to say, no, we don't want to work with that guy ever again. He punched us in the face. He talked shit. Fuck him. But they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're cutting off their nose to spite their face because there's money to be made in it. There's ratings to be drawn in it. And it's better for the health of the entire company if everybody can get along and work with each other. Just, I'm divided and I don't want to talk with you because I don't want to, because I'm a spoiled little brat. Meh. Look, man, I don't care who it is. Edge and Matt Hardy fucking could look each other in the eye, shake hands, and say, let's go do business. This after Edge was banging the fuck out of Matt Hardy's girlfriend on the road while Matt was home injured. You're at home in bed. Injured, recovering, rehab. One of your friends is on the road still, and your girlfriend is on the road still, and they're fucking every night. He's getting it in. He's fucking sticking that pussy, getting it. He's all over, all up in your girlfriend, busting nuts on her fucking tits, and all of it. She's got his dick in her mouth. And he walked up to him and shook his hand, and I will make money with you. What did CM Punk do? Say you couldn't manage a target and punch you in the eye? Are you a fucking little girl or are you a man? You get punched in the eye? I don't want to work with him. Every go, you want to look at him. Don't be a fucking sissy, dude. If he's willing to walk up, be a man, put his hand out and say, I'm willing to work with you, do the same. Be a grown-up. You don't got to be his friend. You don't got to like him. You don't got to hang out. You don't got to sit in the same locker room. And when the program's done, you don't have to deal with him anymore. You walk by him, nod. You don't even have to say hi. Just give them the nod. You know that nod? You do the up with the people you don't like. You do down with the people you do like. You know, you bow with respect. I respect you, sir. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? You see that douchebag? You're like, try to look a little extra hard. You know what I mean? Do that, but work with the fucking guy. I don't know, man. The whole thing's silly. The whole thing's stupid, but I do want to know your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.